We are live. It's You Call That Radio live. Friday night phone in. We are going to go live right now to Zara Gladman, aka Zany Zaz, and I'll just remove that. Zany Zaz. This is what I've done by trying to have that fancy wee start. Don't worry, it is a video. I just thought I'd have a wee fancy, start where it says starting in a moment, and then put some music in the background, and then, make it like a real radio show. But it's not a real radio show, it's You Call That Radio. Happy Friday, hello Lou, hello Stuart, hello everyone. I'm buzzing about this one. We've got Zara Gladman on the show. You probably are aware of her work, either as a musician, comedian, or you maybe just read in the paper today that she met Gerard Butler, and she's got a story about a Ford Capri. So let's go live right now to Zara Gladman. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm well. I'm also excited for tomorrow. We're just talking about that backstage there. We are going to be live. Both of us being interviewed by Dan McGarvey as part of his Common People Live podcast, which is at the Newtown Theatre tomorrow. I think it's the last of a 10 or 12 show run for Darren. It's my only Fringe show. And I'm still quite exhausted with my Fringe run. I think I want to cut it down a little bit because there's lots of people and, you've got to go to Edinburgh, which is always a bit tricky. But yeah. So tomorrow we're going to be talking about chronically online art, narcissism and internet trolls. We don't really know exactly. We'll get back to that. We're going to get back to that. I think we've got to go straight to the most important issue of the day. Yep. Every newspaper is covering it. What could it be? Is it Donald Trump getting another indictment? Has the war in Ukraine ramped up a bit? No, it's Zara met Gerard Butler in Partick.
It's true. That's him.
So, but this is all over the newspapers now. Let's talk us through what happened here.
Well, I obviously met him and requested a photo. But taking us back in time, so the reason I accosted him is my mum used to work with his mum at Reed Kerr College. And back then in the 80s, just after I was born, his family sold my family a Ford Capri. And I thought this is an incredible story and he needs to hear it. So that I was like, I've gotten in. I saw him and I was like, I've gotten in. So I went up and I just said, hey, I've got a story. and I told him the story. And
did he believe you? Did he remember the Ford Capri?
He did. He was like, I remember the car. So I was like, amazing. So he was obviously incredibly impressed. And
it looks, as you can tell by the picture.
Exactly. You can see, in his face, the emotion there. He overcome really after meeting me. So and the guy in the background is also,
and the guy in the background as well. He's obviously hearing bits of the story, and he's gone. Yeah, that's good.
So it was a beautiful moment captured on film, and I do feel a bit bad. I didn't expect it to kind of end up everywhere in the papers. So sorry about that.
Well, you've actually done your best to stop it. I mean, obviously you did upload it to Twitter for some Twitter likes, which is fine.
Yeah, but I needed a dopamine. I've got a dopamine hit from it, right?
That's fine. I think that's totally allowed. I mean, when you get the selfie, you do know that the selfie is going somewhere. But you did the right thing, and you pulled back. And you said, Glasgow Live. They've said, "Hey, Zara, such a great pick. Would be able to use it on our website at all? Thanks in advance." And you said no.
No, I thought I've done enough. It's already all over Twitter. I'll give this guy a break. I started to feel a bit bad, and then the National also got in touch and asked the same. And again, I said no. Can we just leave it? But it didn't really make any difference at the end. It ended up in the papers anyway. So sorry, Jerry. Sorry about that.
Who would have thought that journalists were untrustworthy? And I suppose it's a big story. They've got to cover it. And now, just most recently, the Daily Record. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah. So as you can see, the Daily Record is Yeah, it's all over it as well. And I mean, what is there any legalities of them using your picture without permission?
I don't know. Should I get a lawyer?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
I think it's fair,
let's make some money.
I'm aware of the irony of me trying to say, this is shoddy journalism, untrustworthy journalism. There's bigger things in the world happening, and here I am reacting to them reacting to the thing. I'm aware that, but it just means if you find a famous person, you can get into the newspapers. John Taylor's in. Paisley Boy done good. Yeah, and it seems like a nice guy. So we're pro Gerard Butler here. It's all love for Gerard Butler and his family.
Yeah, he was very nice to me. I have since found out that he's maybe got some controversial opinions. People have told me, but maybe we'll get into that.
We'll not get into that.
Yeah, maybe not right now. But yeah, somebody sent me a few things. I was like, all right, didn't know that. But he was very nice to my face, and he was very patient, and obviously was happy to get the photo. So
yeah, well, you had to get the photo. There's no doubt about it, and I would imagine you've known this Gerard Butler story probably since the 80s, and I can imagine you maybe recounting this tale at school, primary school, secondary school, and people just thinking you're full of shit. Do you feel like you've finally, this is the proof that you needed?
This is the validation that I needed. So it's, he remembered the car. It was true. Because it could have been my mum was lying to me as well, She could have been full of shit. But true. It was true. Thanks, Mum, for that story.
Yes. It's a great story. And
I did make a joke. Oh, sorry, I missed it. I did make a joke to him that didn't land. So the college that my mum worked at was Reed Care in Paisley.
Yeah.
And some people, which is a bit mean, but it's also kind of funny, would refer to that college as Canny Reed Don't Care.
Yeah.
And I said that to him, and he was like, "What?" And he hadn't heard it, and I was like, "Never mind." Anyway, the reason that
a lot of good people came through the halls of Reed Care. Like my mom, everyone.
Exactly, it was a good place.
It was good. We're not hating on Reed Care. It's not at all. R.I.P. It's not about anymore. I didn't even know that. No,
didn't it merge with?
Oh,
anyway,
did it? Maybe join with the Air.
Yeah.
Something. I don't know. I'm not very educated, so I just remember that there was people that aimed for other places. They would end up in Reed Care and they'd be disappointed. I didn't even try to aim that hard. So, but yeah, you mentioned your mother there, so this is a sort of a segue into probably your most viral video. Oh yeah, part of the UWS. Thank you, fact checker John Taylor.
Thank you.
University of West of Scotland. So it's all merged now. So yeah, still there in spirit as Reed Care. But yeah, what I've done is I've downloaded some of your videos. So for people that don't really know, you're quite famous now. You're kind of, because in the tweet here he said he was delighted to take in brackets I'm famous, but you are famous. How famous are you?
I think I'm famous in quite a small kind of area, like perimeter. So I think I'm famous on sort of Dumbarton Road.
Right. Okay. So
but that's quite a long road. So specifically, kind of Thornwood, Partick, getting into the West End, and then Byers Road. I think in that kind of area, but also Queen's Park. So there's kind of hot spots, but beyond that, that's it really.
So I've obviously got I've always sort of considered myself a Z-list celebrity or something like that, because obviously some people very niche, very very niche. But when you walk around Glasgow, you bump into people. But I don't know if that's fame. But is it Z-list? Because I said that to someone recently, and they said you're not a Z-list. You're maybe like M or N or O, an O-list celebrity. So what would you think? Could you alphabeticize your fame?
Well, I quite like the idea of me being a Z-list just for the alliteration with my name.
Yes, and that is why you chose, according to your new song, that's how you chose your occupation. Could you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so I did zoology as my studies, and I just thought it sounded cool with my name, Zara the zoologist, and also my username on social media, Zany Zaz, which I've had literally since I was 14. I've just like, the sound.
Yeah, it's like, when I like alliteration to introduce people like, we had My Mamero in the show, I'll say the magnificent My Mamero. And with Zara, there isn't that many words you've really got, is it? So you've got to be zany, and you've probably had to, you do come across as a bit zany, but do you think that was it the horse before the cart? Was it a case of, right, I'm either going to be zany or a zebra?
Yeah, there wasn't really much choice, like zebras, zigzags, Zionist, didn't really want to do that. So zoology was the kind of the safest path, and the zany, and I guess like I got that username when I was 14, and I don't think I was very zany at that age. I think I was quite.
Yeah, sometimes that happens. I used to work with a guy in a call centre called Crazy Bob, and he was just so normal. He was just average man. I don't know why he was called Crazy Bob, but you expect Crazy Bob to be pretty fucking crazy. Sorry for.
Was that self-described?
No, what had happened was he went I think people at the work all went on a trip together, and I think that one of the team leaders, who I would say he's maybe not a bully, but I think he would have liked the attention, like he wanted to be the hierarchy. And I think he was just kind of like, oh, he's Crazy Bob. And I think, maybe because Crazy Bob wanted to go for a joint or something. I mean, that's as crazy as it would have been. What's he like? He's crazy because he was having a doobie. But yeah, but then it passed around. Everyone called him Crazy Bob, and he then started to quite like it. And he did say, "Oh, I'm Crazy Bob."
Right.
But it was just very, very normal man, just a very average man. And I've got nothing against Crazy Bob. Shout outs to Crazy Bob if you're watching. Just a normal Ayrshire boy.
Maybe one day he'll flip. I quite like the idea that, maybe one day he will just snap.
Yeah,
sorry, no, I don't wish that on him, but it would be,
Yeah, well, I think it would be. I think it will happen. I mean, like you weren't zany at the start. Now you're absolutely smashing zany. Let's actually see something. Hold on. Now you've been on You Call That Radio. You need a funny task disguise if you want to head out to Londis for a pint of milk. That is true. The fame you've been the You Call That Radio fame brush. So yeah, you might need a disguise now. Also, I've got a Facebook page called Overheard in the West End, and it got really famous. It was started off as a Gyro Baby song, and then it got about 25,000 likes in about 6 months. It was doing really well, and I just kind of got bored with the content of it all. I just kind of gave up slagging the West End, and then I would put up other memes about maybe more political stuff. And people just were like, what's this got to do with the West End? And I just kind of got sick of it.
Yeah.
And then you come along with your West End more, and I've just been sharing it because no, it's not. No, I'm just sharing it.
No, as in revival, not rival.
All right, I thought you said rival.
I'm here to
I was like, we're fucking here. I slagged the West End first, so let's see West End Moz. There's a lot to this character. Let's just watch that first and then we'll talk about it. So let's see, is it this
Glasgow. G12 is the postcode. Living my best life in my West End abode. Coffee? I'll have a skinny oat latte. Catching up with friends in a Highland cafe. Did you hear about Sylvia's divorce? She ran up with a man from her pottery course. It's a scandal, but good for her. When it comes to local gossip, I'm a connoisseur. I'm a West End mum in Glasgow City, chairwoman of Downhill Tennis Committee. I'm a West End mum with an eye for decor, from the Rockland Lanes to the Ora and more. West End mums. Daily Constitutional in the Botanic. Excuse me, is this pasta donata organic? Scones, croissants, bagels, cake. If you're looking for patisseries, you're in the right place. Have a Sauvignon on the chip rooftop. The clientele varies, but the banter's top notch. How was your trip to Morzine? I'm a West End mum, I didn't choose this life. Met my husband at the play, a pint. I'm a West End mum, I never crossed the river, because being served's an anxiety trigger. West End mums. West End mums.
Yes, that was West End Ma, and I mean, you've been so consistent this year with just putting out stuff all the time. What? Because obviously you've had a few viral moments. What was this? This one seemed a bit bigger though. Like the papers were picking up on it and stuff.
Yeah, I think, well, this year I decided at the start of the year to make a conscious effort to try and put something out every single week. Because
Yeah.
like in over the past, like, I guess 10 years, I've been doing little videos and stuff, but I'm really inconsistent. Like, I'll put something out and then I'll do nothing for 6 months, and then maybe I'll do another one. So I set myself a little target this year. I was like, first of all, I got really addicted to TikTok, like a lot of people in the lockdown. So that kind of started it all. And then I thought, right, one a week, I'm going to do it. And then I can't even remember. I think I did a couple of TikToks just with a West End mum character. And then I've just always enjoyed music videos. And that's how that came about, basically.
Yeah, well, the consistency is key, and it's. I mean, obviously, it must with the consistency comes the confidence, because you don't really know what's going to work and what's not. I've always found, because I'm inconsistent, but I'll sometimes do. The only way that you can promote a gig on Facebook is by doing a daft video, and then at the end, just sort of, oh, by the way, there's a gig this Saturday. That's the only way that Facebook works anymore, and people watch your adverts. So I try and do it. And then sometimes I just say, oh, fuck it, I'm just going to put this up and I don't think it's very good, and people like it.
Yeah.
Does that happen to you? Is there any videos that you've put up and you've went, I think this is pish, but you've got your target, so you've just done it, and then people are going, that is absolutely hilarious?
I think I've had it more the other way around.
Yeah. This is fucking gold.
Like, the stuff that I find the funniest has probably not done that well. Like, so, like I say, I was addicted to TikTok, and there's like all these like rappers on TikTok, and you can duet them, and they'll
Yes.
they'll put out like bars that you can rap over it. And I was like, oh, it'd be quite funny to do a duet, but like just do like a really shit rap, or get the West End mum to do raps with these guys online. So I found that really funny. But no one seems to be into that, but I keep doing them anyway because it amuses myself.
I didn't actually download that one. So
Oh, well, check it. I mean, I find it funny, but don't want nobody else.
well, we'll play that before the end. We'll play that before the end. But I want to play my favourite one, which is explain the background of this one. So I've already told you it's my favourite one. Is this
Hey,
one?
Miranda, did you see?
Oh,
Agents.
yeah.
So how did that come about?
So first of all, Sophie, who's the other one in that video, is someone that I made friends through TikTok. So she lives in Edinburgh, and she is a comedian and an actor as well. So we were kind of keeping an eye on each other online, and then we met up and we did a video together where I was Glasgow West End mum and she was Edinburgh Morningside mum. And she is Edinburgh based, so we decided, I wonder if we can do a video, over the phone or over WhatsApp. And so that is the video that you just showed, or you're going to show.
I'm going to show it. I'm going to show it. I love it. Like I said to you, I've been in this Zoom call before,
Right.
so it's so on point. It's unbelievable. So this
Hey,
is
Miranda, did you see the video?
Yeah, I love her. She's so quirky, Scottish, great.
I know we don't usually take an interest in Scotland, but I thought, there is something there,
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't understand half of what she was saying, but I was chuckling along, I was laughing. Yeah.
It is part of the charm, though, isn't it? The sort of unintelligible noises that she makes. You could really feel, the grit that she's been through in the kind of raspy voice that she has.
Yeah, and we could really kind of put Scotland on the map as well if we could pitch her to the network. They're looking for new talent, and I personally can't really think of much comedy that's come out of Scotland.
There's nothing really, is there? There's no women. There's nothing. I mean, there's not a lot to laugh about in Scotland, is there?
But maybe
Miserable.
we could use that angle. Perhaps we could have her in a council estate, perhaps with a drug addiction, perhaps a single mother. Is that relatable? It's that kind of shameless kind of thing that people are looking for. They don't want, perfect celebs. We want relatable.
No, that sort of make her a little bit less threatening, you know. I think we do need to think about marketing and, you know, a target audience here. What are your thoughts?
I think, she's going to need to be slightly less left-winged, just for the funders, just for the board, less of the socialist, feminist stuff.
We do have a lot of males, obviously, who will be watching it, and, you know, we don't want anything unpalatable out there. Also, you know, with her being Scottish, I was thinking, can we play on that? I'm thinking perhaps some haggises, you know, maybe we could get some cuddly haggises and she could be carrying the haggis or wearing it or something like that, you know, just to make her a bit more fun.
Yeah, a little bit less depressing, less depressing Scottish.
Exactly, less depressing. So what do you reckon? Should we get her in for a meeting?
Yeah, I'm looking at my... Oh God, sorry. I'm actually due on Radio 4 Women's Hour in 7 minutes. Fuck, sorry.
No worries. Don't worry. I'll speak to Richard. If you.
Yes, there was a bit of a delay. Did you see a delay there?
No, it was fine for me. Yeah. Excruciating for me.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, there's a delay. It's my side. That's fine. It's just at my side. Yeah, that's amazing. So what's Sophie's?
Sophie McKay.
Sophie?
So she is on TikTok and she's on Instagram as well. So definitely check her out. She's got some really funny characters. And that was just something that we'd both experienced. Obviously, you've experienced. Probably most people in Scottish arts and culture, or, you know, any sector, have maybe experienced a little bit of that attitude. You know, kind of London-based media, sometimes the things that you hear on Twitter, you're like, what? And the way that, like, Scotland is described as this big nebulous place as well, like, I'm going up to Scotland rather than like a specific place. I've always thought that's funny. Like, if I'm going down to like Manchester or whatever, like, I'm going to start being like, yeah, I'm going to Manchester. No, I'm going to England. I'm going to England this weekend rather than like any specific location.
Yeah, it's spot on. I've heard it a million times, and so let's go back to TikTok. So how many followers you got? I'm not on TikTok yet. I did actually download the app on my last phone because I was on someone very famous from South America had me on their TikTok, and then people were like, "Mark, you're on this thing," and so I downloaded it, and then I couldn't find the video anyway, so I think it got deleted. But then I got a new phone, and so I do have an account. I think I have maybe 20. I had I don't know if you know Mandy Mayhem from Instagram. She's like the kind of mum rapper. She does mum rap.
Okay, cool. I don't know her. I need to look her up.
Mandy Mayhem, she's called. She's very funny. So I interviewed her a couple of weeks ago, and she's got TikTok. And I was like, yeah, I don't have TikTok. She goes, I'll share it in TikTok. And I was like, I don't have a TikTok handle. And then Tam the van, my mate Tam, says, no, you do. I follow you. And then he showed me a screenshot, and I've got 26 followers or something like that. So I think I'm on there, YCTR maybe, but I think I'm going to need to get TikTok now because Facebook's dead, Twitter's dead.
Yeah.
Reddit's I quite like a bit of Reddit, but unfortunately you can't share anything on that. Or the admins there are all power hungry and they just ban you. I don't know where you're supposed to share your new music anymore, or where you're supposed to talk about your gigs. You know, the internet just seems to have been banned unless you pay for a sponsored ad. Well, TikTok seems to be like trying to just cash in on that and make people famous fast.
It's like definitely. I think.
Tell me. I don't know about it.
I think TikTok, of all the kind of social media platforms that I've used, it seems to be the friendliest. Like, I don't really get trolls so much on TikTok. You get really lovely supportive comments like, I like your jumper. Or you know, you get nice comments on I guess that's because like the algorithm, I think why TikTok's so addictive is that the algorithm does work out exactly what you're into, and then it'll only serve you like the perfect curated material that is bespoke to you. So then you're suddenly, oh shit, I've been on it for like 3 hours. I could have watched a film, but I watched like 300 TikToks. And I think it's quite easy to go viral.
Yeah, I think I've got friends that have went viral on it. I've quite a few, and yeah, it seems to be. What's the worst place? You said that's the friendliest place. What's the worst place for trolls
Um,
or bad comments?
it kind of depends. I did make the mistake once of posting a video on Reddit. Because I was just experimenting. I share my videos on TikTok and then Twitter, on Instagram, on Threads, whatever. And then I was like, I've never shared anything on Reddit, and I've heard that people have shared my videos on there before, so I'm just going to share one. And people just went through me. I was like, oh God, I've totally misjudged this. I've just kind of created an account. I've shared it without really knowing anything about what goes on there. So that was quite unpleasant. Twitter has obviously kind of, you expect it. Facebook, weirdly, like has a lot of like kind of, you'd think boomers like kind of would know better, but they are another level, like quite erratic. The boomer trolls are. And I had a random video go viral on Facebook, and I just had this massive onslaught of comments from older trolls that were unbelievable, actually. And like, I've kind of turned that into a song that I'm going to get you to help me with tomorrow at Darren's show. But yeah, maybe the Facebook boomer trolls are actually worse than Twitter in some ways.
Yeah, I think they seem to be the most unhappy, and maybe they've got a bit more time in their hands, and they're very sure of themselves as well. It's just a lethal combination of stuff. Lou Rogerson saying Reddit's brilliant, but the moderators are absolute roasters and most subs. Yeah, they just everything I've tried to share, they just say no. And also, I would say about Reddit is, like I said, it can't, what I quite like about it is it feels like I quite like just scrolling through it. Sometimes it can be quite interesting if you're following the right things. But I have seen situations whereby, I'm not going to name any specifics, but things that are happening in the news that I've maybe got an insight to. So, or maybe it's involving people that I know or whatever. And it's just the amount of confident nonsense that people spout that you know is not true. And it just feels like it's the 15 minutes of hate has started, and nobody wants to go against what everyone's saying. I think you just got to take that with a pinch of salt. How do you deal with it? Do you ignore the troll? Is it possible to ignore the trolls?
Well, if the funny thing is, I guess the more comments you get, the more viral the video's gonna go. Especially on and the few trolls that I've had on TikTok, quite often it's people get into fights with each other, so they're leaving loads of comments, and that actually is helping the video, because the video is like, it's getting loads of interaction, so then it'll get more hits. So I'm just like, I'll just leave them to it. The Facebook boomer ones, I've turned into a song. I'm like, this is actually great content. And I don't really, because they're so ridiculous, the comments. Like, I mean, people like, I'll need to find some, and you'll see tomorrow. But I think because they're so outrageous, they don't really affect me, because I'm like, okay, you're calling me a bitch, or you're like making fun of my hair or whatever. It's like, I know I need a haircut. But like, so it doesn't really bother me, I think. But when it does bother me is when it's personal, and when it is more like, I don't know, it's maybe more my peer group, like, or people that I respect, or, other comedians or other people, like, my peers. I care more about what my peers think than I care about a random, guy on Facebook who's
and it's
a dog.
And it's a guy. It's usually a guy. When it's a female comedian, there's just always a guy. Every time, if I'm looking at a reel or something and it's a female comedian, and you'd be watching a great piece of stand-up comedy, for a 60-second clip from obviously a great comedian.
Yeah.
And there's the guy going, this isn't funny. When does the comedy start? That kind of vibe.
Yeah,
You can't take they people seriously.
Yeah, I mean, it happens every time. And I have thought I'd love to do, and I do have a character that I'm kind of experimenting with, but like, I'd love to do a live stand-up set as like a toxic guy, like a toxic stand-up comedian, like male comedian, just going on like making like misogynist jokes and stuff. Like, it is kind of funny, it's because it's just so ridiculous as well. And I just
Well, we've got a video. We have got a video. We've got a video of that
right.
set up,
Okay.
which I'm assuming is the same idea. So this is I don't know if this is based on a true story. It feels like there's an element of truth to it, but it's you at a comedy night, and you meet a male feminist comedian.
Yeah.
So let's just watch that.
I actually met them once. Yeah, I met them. And they were really...
I am a feminist, so it's great to see women like you doing comedy. And you know what? Barbie, great film.
Yeah, it's a good film. Thanks for making me feel welcome.
Right, that's me up. I'll catch you after, all right? I like my women like I like my whiskey. 18 years old. My wife is so ugly. I use TikTok filters when I fuck her. I asked the slutty intern out for a date, and she said no. So I killed her, chopped her into bits, and burned the body. You're fired.
So yeah, is that what the kind of thing you're talking about?
Yeah. Like I mean, I have to say, so I used to do comedy like 10 years ago. I like used to run a night, and I used to do it quite a lot, and then I kind of gave it up. So I'm just kind of coming back to it now. And I would say, from what I've seen, things are so much better now. There's more women, there's more supportive scene, I think, for women comics. But women are still a minority, and yeah, I have met guys that have called themselves feminists, and then you hear their material, and or even they've not said they're feminists, but they're really nice to you and like to your face or whatever, and then they're doing stuff that is just like, what the fuck? Like, but yeah, it's wild.
There's a strange thing that I've noticed when I've been to a few comedy nights recently. I'm not going to name names, obviously, but just some comedians don't seem to understand. So I'm not wanting to censor a comedian. I think that you should be able to joke about almost anything, but the point is it's got to be funny. If you're going to go into a touchy subject, you need to do something very clever with it. And there's a lot of people that just go in there and just say edgy jokes that aren't funny at all, and it just gives you a horrible taste. It leaves a horrible taste in your mouth, and it's not funny, so you don't laugh. And then if they don't get booked, they're kind of like, I've been cancelled because I'm too controversial. It's like we like controversial comedy. It's just that wasn't funny. Like they're just maybe copying Frankie Boyle without actually any thought to the writing process.
Yeah, like Frankie Boyle was like subversive, or like, there's kind of meaning behind it. He's not just trying to shock you for the sake of it. Yeah. So that's definitely a thing.
The one I also played, also on the concept of Barbie. What I just want to say, shout outs to the marketing team behind Barbie. I've never seen this is the marketing campaign of the year, and I've not watched the film, so I can't comment on it. But it's just been really surprising to me how many people, that are anti-capitalist just love Barbie. So I don't have an opinion on it because I've obviously not seen the film.
Yeah.
Do you think this has been has this been cynically conceived because they knew that to have Barbie in 2023 it needs to be sort of be about women's rights or whatever, or am I just being a cynic? Is it actually just a good film and I should shut up?
Nah, I think it's fair to be cynical about it. Obviously, it is a huge marketing machine, and they've got all this merch, and maybe they're commodifying feminism. I have seen it. I did like it. But I did feel like it didn't live up to the hype for me. And I think that there's other films that I've seen for a kind of teenage girl audience that I think are a bit more subtle in their messaging, like they're more subversive. So Booksmart, for example, I love that film. And within that film, there's a lesbian character, but she just is lesbian. And she's young, and she, there's a subplot around her, but it's not like they're not making a massive deal about it. It's just like that is who she is. Whereas I felt like Barbie was a bit more self-conscious and a bit more kind of pushing the messaging throughout. But then again, maybe some people need to hear that. Maybe I'm already on board. Like maybe this film wasn't really for me. Maybe
That's a very good point.
You know, maybe for other people, they hadn't thought about things this way. And, you know, there's that famous speech within the film that's kind of gone viral, and people are responding like, oh my God, this is amazing. When I read it, I was like, or heard it, I was like, yeah. But like, I'm a bit older. Like I don't play with Barbies anymore. But maybe for a little girl who's seen it, then that's a positive thing for them to hear.
Yeah, it's like, well, obviously, you know, there's lots of people, you know, my age that are still really into comic books and action figures, but I'm not going to judge that because I play with elf bars these days. So it's like, that's kind of like an action figure of some sort.
I remember the day that I stopped playing with Barbie. Sorry, I was just reminiscing.
No, continue. No, I want to do it. The day that you stopped playing with Barbie, why?
So I used to play Barbies with this girl that lived 2 doors down from me, and she would come round, and I had a little house, and we would play. And one day she came round and she said, "I think we're a bit old for this now." And I was like, "Yeah." I was like really gutted because I was
heartbroken.
Yeah, you're right. And stopped playing them, but I wasn't ready to stop. And I mean,
I've got a similar story about wrestling.
Okay.
Wrestling. My dad said, "Well, you're getting a bit old to be watching wrestling," and then so I was like, I went, all right, okay, you know, by that point I was getting more into my football. So my dad taped over all my wrestling tapes with like westerns. So I think that the reason he was saying that was just so that he could have 60 blank videos of wrestling, and now these wrestling videos are actually worth a fair amount of money because they were, you know, old VHSs. I think that but they're not, because they're just like Clint Eastwood films or whatever.
No.
So I wasn't ready to give up on wrestling, and sorry, there's a bit of a delay, so sorry, that's why I keep cutting you off every so often. What were you going to say?
I was going to say, I wonder what would have happened if me and you hadn't bowed to the social pressure. Like, what if I'd kept playing Barbie? Like, when would I have stopped? Would I be doing this interview with a Barbie right now? Or a Cindy? I had Cindy as well. Would you be like in full wrestling gear? You know?
Regalia, I could have been a wrestler. I could have been good. I could have been a great. Also, another thing that I did is I haven't played a computer game or PlayStation or an Xbox in about 12 years. I've been clean for 12 years because I had a football manager addiction. And at the time I was like, I'm throwing my life away here for a computer game. So by societal pressures, you know, to get a job and do something with your life, I quit computer games. And now I know people that know people who have made over £1 million just streaming on Twitch computer games. Yeah. And here I am trying to shine a light on the underground music scene. And I can monetize my videos, but you know, you're talking 30 pence a video, and that's if I don't swear, which is obviously racist against Scottish and unrealistic. Mm-hmm. So I think that either I could have been a wrestler, I could have been a famous computer game streamer, because people want to watch other people playing computer games, which is something that I could never have predicted. Limmy is the exception. But even Limmy, it's like you want to watch the clips because his clips are hilarious. Yeah. But I can't commit to 4 hours a day of watching someone else playing it, no matter how good you are, and Limmy is the best. But yeah, I'm surprised at how much that took off.
Yeah, I mean, would you ever go back to it, or are you just like, nah? I
just don't think I can. I mean, it got to the stage. I was wearing my suit to the cup finals, and you know, you've got to call it a day at some point. So yeah, I was taking it a bit too seriously.
Didn't have
I would have been quite happy to just play.
You know, like is it in Japan or where they have some people that are so into, like, they'll have like bags that they pee into and stuff. You know, like they'll like
no, it was
no.
I wasn't hydrated enough to pee. I don't think I was hydrated. I think, you know, I was just on the wacky backy. I doubt that I was eating food or drinking anything, really. I think it would have been too much of an effort. I was so focused on the game. You know, I was passionate. I was passionate and ambitious in a weird way to win my games and keep my imaginary fans happy. So I've just got to stay away from it. And you know, nowadays I see, you know, I've got a friend's house and I've got, you know, Grand Theft Auto, which is probably about 7 years old now. It looks amazing. I would really love it. And the fact that you can talk to your friends while you're playing it and go on adventures together, I would love it too much. And I'm in the music industry, and that's kind of like a computer game. You've got to do certain things to get the dopamine rush. You know, maybe getting 20 likes in a post that's advertising your gig is kind of like winning a football match in Football Manager. So I'm aware that I'm playing a game, but hopefully it'll bring more people to my music or to my podcast. So I'm in a kind of way, I'm still playing computer games. But I feel like if I played the Xbox or the PlayStation, it's not going to get more people to turn up to the gig. You know, it's not me playing an FA Cup final. Even if I wear my best suit and I play my best starting 11, no injuries, and I win the game, it's not going to make more people come to the gig tomorrow, for example. So I'm just going to give a wee shout out to that. So yeah, tomorrow, myself and Zara, we're going to be the Stands Newtown Theatre at 7:30. It's Darren McGarvey, the Orwell Prize-winning Darren McGarvey's Common People podcast. He's done amazing with this podcast. He's only been doing it for a few months, but he's a natural at it. And he's had some amazing guests. We're going to be talking about chronically online art, narcissism, and internet trolls. Is he calling us narcissists, or is he saying like that we know about narcissists? I don't know what the angle is. Do you know what we're doing? Do you know much about the show?
Not really. He asked me and I was like, yeah. And then we were like, he was saying it needs a theme. And then I was kind of thinking, well, I said to him maybe something about being online as I flip between TikTok and Twitter and Instagram and as I communicate via DMs online. And he was like, oh yeah, that's a good idea. But the title I didn't see until I saw the poster as well. So maybe it is just about our raging narcissism, Mark. Maybe
it could be. It could be, and it's because in Chronically Online, you know, as you switch from right now, I've got my desktop, so I'm on the big screen internet, and then you check your phone to see what's happening in the small internet, and then you get big internet, small internet. But interestingly, on that point, I think that they've changed the poster as well. I noticed just before we went online. So here we go, dear. So I'm going to just show you this because it's changed to something else, and I didn't have enough time to compare how it's changed, but I know that the poster has changed. So we're on Darren McGarvey's Common People here. So okay,
ego.
It's art, ego, and trolls. Online shadows.
So it's ego now.
So online shadow.
Oh, I missed that as well. Online shadows. Oh, that sounds a bit creepy.
Yeah.
Is that us?
Well, I googled it because I thought maybe this was I thought it was a term, and when I googled it, it doesn't seem to be a term. It's just like people on like Photoshop, how to add shadow to your photos. So I don't know if it's a term he's made up, but I think it does. It does maybe think that he is called as narcissist, and he's went, that's a bit harsh. Just ego. They're just egomaniacs. Yeah. So it's called art, ego, shadows. And trolls.
I quite like the shadow thing.
Online shadows. Well, I look like a shadow in the background because I'm the only person that's got a black and white photo.
You look like
the reason for that is that I did a great. So I'm an online shadow, and but the reason for that is I did a photo shoot a few years ago, and it's really only good ones I've got. But I thought the colour ones I noticeably looked younger because it's been a challenging couple of years, you know what I mean? And I was like, but the black and white one, I was like, I can, you know, everyone looks a wee bit better in black and white. So I was actually looking for the worst picture of me. So I was looking for a bad picture. Well, there's loads of great pictures, but it's just not my face anymore. Do you know, COVID aged me 10 years. So I think that was like, I thought, well, that I can almost look like that guy. So I did that, but I've noticed that when you scroll down, like everyone else is in, like, you know, look at everyone in nice colourful, you know, everyone get nice colourful pictures, and then it's just the online shadow, me, the online shadow.
Maybe you should.
But do you know? Sorry, on you go.
You could turn up in grayscale tomorrow. You could just get some like towel powder. I don't know. This is the level of chat that people can look forward to tomorrow. What am I talking about?
Yeah, no, don't worry. We've kept our best stuff for tomorrow because I was like, we don't want to talk about too much about it, but maybe we could just repeat the same pattern if we come up with anything good. We can just use the same pattern. So it's kind of like I'm not too worried about it because obviously I've been friends with Darren for about 15 years and he is very good. And I don't think I've been interviewed I've not really done many interviews for a while now. So I feel like I've got stuff to say. And
I'm thinking
he asks good questions.
Maybe we could use just now to prepare. So I'm thinking maybe we could do a solid 10 minutes just talking about the black and white photo and, kind of drilling into that. And then what else?
I think he's wanting to... So he's split into art. So, okay, I'll just... So, what do you make of art?
I like
this is a practice run. What do you make of art?
I think, do you know what? I think
I like it too.
I like some of it though, I don't like.
Yeah, not all art's good. Not all art's good. That's a bit controversial, but I like it.
Yeah, it's a bit spicy.
I think we've nailed that. So, ego.
Ego,
is it a good thing? Is it a good thing? Is it? I think for me, ego is about getting the right balance between confidence and arrogance. I don't like arrogance, but I do like confidence. Would you agree or disagree with that statement?
Agree. Isn't ego in the Adams?
It's going to be brilliant.
Isn't ego in the Adams family?
Yes, ego's in the... See, people that like Barbie this year, did they not all just like Wednesday last year? Or is that controversial? That's too controversial. This is getting filmed, and Darren's got one of those platforms where, when he says anything, he's got 60,000 Twitter followers. He says anything about anything. I think he complained last week about how he had to walk all the way around because there was a cycling event on. And people got really passionately angry at him because if he didn't care about the sport of cycling, which is a working class sport. And I think, so I'm aware that what my audience is everyone's lovely here. I don't have to deal with trolls. Maybe a bit of banter for mates.
Yeah.
But Darren's, it's getting filmed, so I think if it's not getting filmed, I'll be doing different answers. Like, for example, he doesn't want us to be talking down the working class experience. He wants to be talking about all the good things we're doing. When in actual fact, I'm actually having a really tough time. Festivals are getting cancelled. Live music's like a bin fire just now. And, I don't even know what my name is. They called me Mark McGee on the thing. But that's not really a good name. But I can't use my real name because, ironically, already a football manager and a former Celtic and Aberdeen player with my name. So he's already got my name. So I need to come up with a new name. Jackal Trades is weird. You can't call yourself Jackal Trades, but maybe I could call myself Jack L Trades. But then people are going to type that in instead of Jackal Trades and not find my music. And you don't want to be called the Gyro Babies guy either, because that was born out of complete poverty and hopelessness. And I've got options and opportunity now. So I'm not feeling good about that.
I was thinking, mate, I might just...
I don't know. I'm sorry.
I think I might just go on and just say some completely insane things, like just crazy things, really controversial things. And then we can all I'll drag you into it, and then we can self-cancel. Does that sound good? We could just end this. The grand finale.
Back to the call centre. I could go back to the call centre, 12 hours a day in the call centre, 8 hours a day back in my Football Manager games, and maybe the game streaming thing will take off. We've got people with comments here. So Mo White's traumatised by your fired skit. Sorry about that. But I think you made your point though. That's what it should be. I still buy limited edition Barbies. I've never lost my fascination for them. I'm 40.
Oh. Well, there we go. Maybe you're going to go back to, at the end of the show, we'll get cancelled, right? You will go back to Football Manager. I'm going to just get obsessed with Barbies and not go out anymore. And that'll be us. That'll be it. That's
great. Sounds
life.
Good.
Yeah.
Stuart Graham's entertained. It's John Taylor's is the ultimate keyboard warrior. That's my new name. The new nickname, Grey Mark, Grayscale Mark. That could do that. Yeah, feel free to name me in the comments. I need a new name. It's hashtag YCTR doesn't really have a ring to it either. I'm going tomorrow night, no spoilers.
Oh no, right.
I'm sure it's going to be a great show. It's going to be a great show. Right, okay, so let's talk about this. So you're performing a song. So that is. So I don't know if I'm performing a song or if he wants me to perform a song. Yeah, so can you explain what it is? Maybe this is a good time to find out what it is I need to do.
So basically, sorry for everyone else, so we're just going to get down to the boring logistics. But I've printed out some pictures of troll comments, and I've written a song about trolls. So what I'm going to get you, keyboard warrior, to do is at the appropriate points in the song.
The ultimate keyboard warrior.
Sorry, the ultimate keyboard warrior. UKW. I need you to hold up the comments for me at the appropriate points in the song. It's gonna be I tried it out actually at Drygate on Tuesday, and it kind of worked, but I figured let's take it to the Fringe in front of many more people, and it'll definitely work. Right?
Yeah. How big is the words? Because I'm just thinking the Newtown Theatre's quite a big venue. I don't know if we were in the upstairs bit or the downstairs bit, but both are still quite sizable. Will people be able to see the comments? Are we talking A4 sheets of paper?
A1. I went as big as I could get. Maybe what I need to do is read them out actually at the beginning, and then people will understand. I don't know.
That's spoiling it a bit. I don't know. Maybe we just. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's A1. So why is it? Does it just stop at? Does it just stop at A1? Is there not an A0? Is there not an A-1? Surely they can make bigger sheets of paper.
Or is it A0 that I got? I can't. They're like, how big are they? Like, I mean, they're like a struggle for one.
Have you got one there?
I've got the tubes. Will I get one? I'll go get them.
Yeah, get one. Go and get one. I just give it a rough idea. I just don't understand. Does anyone in the comments understand why it stops? Because you've got an A4 paper. When I get my flyers printed off, I'm always like A4 or A5. I'm like, surely the higher the number, the bigger. And they're like, no, that's not how it works, Mark. But you think that surely there's people with bigger paper than A1. Okay, so this is a spoiler. Sorry, John, a spoiler alert.
It's okay. You can't see the words, so it's not a spoiler because it's blurring out.
Yes, yes, no, but that's fine. That's a good size. It's a good size. I think it's going to work. I'm looking forward to it.
I'm glad how we're just using this for prep.
So I'm going to. Yeah, does it? So do you know if? So does Darren know that you're performing a song? Are you bringing a guitar and you get a sound check and stuff?
I'm bringing a guitar. There's been not any chat about a sound check, but it'll be fine, right? It's just an acoustic. It's behind me. Should we do the sound check?
Just put your microphone.
Yeah, put the mic. It'll be fine.
Do you need backing vocals? I could do some BVs.
I could send you the song.
So, more points is A0 is massive. Then you're looking at rolls of paper. All right, so that's the answer. So AO is the end. That's the end level boss, so to speak, of printing things out, and then you get rolls. It'll work, says Stuart. You're a good man, says Stuart. And Mo's asked us a question. What do you think of Banksy? There we go. That's maybe something that will come up because Banksy's obviously having his big Glasgow exhibition for the last 7 years, it feels like. But I've still not been yet, but I've been away. I've been busy, but I'm hopefully going to catch it before it finishes. Have you been to see the Banksy exhibition?
No, I've not either.
Would you like to see it?
Do you know, I wasn't that bothered, but
someone's
now,
phoning
but now that it's been
I'm not going to take the call. I'm a professional.
You can take it if you want. That's kind of exciting. Yeah, I wasn't that bothered, but now I'm like, oh, now that it's all sold out, I'm like, oh, maybe I should have gone. So it's also is it quite expensive? I don't know. It's probably not any more expensive than the Fringe, is it? And it's literally here. So
I don't think it's expensive. I don't think so. It seems like I think it's a £10 or £15.
I'm curious. I am curious.
But,
I wasn't
making a lot of money.
Yeah. I would go.
Well, we had Captain Barrett all the way up from Bristol, DJing after the Gyro Babies after party. Captain Barrett, who's been the Boomtown programmer for 10 years, he kindly did a 4-hour set for us after our last gig, and then he went to see Banksy at 3 o'clock in the morning. So when you think about how much money they're printing out in almost 24 hours a day for the last few months, the Banksy's doing all right. He's doing okay. And I, as someone who's not like I'm not an art connoisseur, music's more my kind of sort of thing. To me, it's quite good. I've been to Bristol, for example, and I loved the graffiti at Bristol when there was some Banksys there. I went on a wee tour, and they're like, "That's a Banksy," and I'm like, "Is it? It looks good to me." But then people are like, "That could be a fake Banksy," and I don't know.
Did you see the fake Banksy that somebody made? It was an artist, Konzo, who him and
Yes.
I forget the other guy's name, but I thought that was brilliant. Down, was it Mitchell
Yes,
Lane?
I know. So, and I think somebody was giving away free, but pretending to be Banksy and handing people things, saying that this is an original Banksy, and it wasn't as well. And one of my friends said that he got given a free Banksy, and then people were like, "That'll be a fake." Or some people were actually saying, "You've made this up. You're lying. You've made this up." That was obviously a pure Banksy fan that's probably gutted that might have happened. But people just, people were online, didn't they? Banksy is, Go Banksy is of the zeitgeist, one of our great contemporary artists. I don't think we can argue with that. I'm just saying that I know that there's a wee bit of a controversy between some artists, like how come it's okay for Banksy to do it and it's not okay for other artists. But I think what's interesting is that Glasgow is one of the ugliest, greyest cities in the world compared to somewhere like Edinburgh that's pretty and is photogenic. And what is great is that the council seems to have relaxed its rules. There seems to be a mural fund there for young artists to go and do it and make the city look a little bit better. And I've noticed lots of great graffiti art everywhere now. Hopefully there's the start of things to come. And SWG3, for example, looks sensational. That was one of the only good parts of lockdown, was going there for a pint one day and seeing what they've done with the place. Yeah, I've got one. I play one of more of your videos actually, because I started playing the celebrity death thing. So this is a thing that obviously, and it's good because I think we can all be guilty of it. And I think I shared with you in the comments, celebrity mourning is the new rock and roll, and that was a Jackal Trade song I did when Bowie, Prince, somebody else. Lots of famous people died at the same time, like superstars. And it was just about how, in the future it's just going to be, people that were famous for 10 minutes, people like me, not like Prince, or Bowie, people like that everybody knows. Or Bowie, I think it's actually called. But, even the Queen dying. The Queen died, and then about, it was a big deal for a week, and then everybody just got back to normal. But people do like to... I don't know, I've kind of, because then I realised that when an artist that I'm a big fan of pass away, I like to share a song and say, they inspired me. But there is a difference. There is some people who are trying to get those clicks. And, I've seen a lot of genuine fans of Sinead O'Connor, for example. R.I.P. Sinead O'Connor, absolutely incredible voice and just a very powerful woman who made a stand against things. So I was very sad, genuinely, of Sinead O'Connor passing. And you can see some people were genuinely upset, and then you've got other people, especially journalists that hounded her, sort of like trying to get clicks.
Yeah.
So is this the right one? Hold on.
I actually met them once. Yeah, I met them. And they were really excited to meet me. So I'm sad because that's not going to happen again for them. Yeah, it's such a loss, isn't it? I mean, I never saw them perform or engage with any of their work, but I really feel this one because I too am an artist. And yeah, I do have a new album. You can just click that link. We all grieve in different ways. Hey, yeah, I'm not going to make it in today. Compassionate leave. Have you not seen the news? They were such a big part of my life. You have no idea. Yeah, I know there's been a few. Dame Edna was a huge part of my childhood, and I do not like what you're suggesting, okay? yeah, so I'll be in tomorrow. This is a hard time for all of us. We are all grieving, especially me. Tony Bennett, this is for you. And now the end is near, and so I face the final curtain. My friend, I'll make it clear. I'll state my case, of which I'm certain. I've lived a life that's full. I traveled each and every highway and more, much more than this. I did it my way.
So the people that I think that you're referring to here, correct me if I'm wrong, is the people who just feel like they're not in, because everybody's talking about something and they don't feel like they're in the conversation. And because this topic's trending, they are, and like you said, I actually know somebody who does do the new album out, and the comments, the thread. While you're looking at this, I've got a new album. I've kind of seen similar things to that before. So could you explain it? Could you explain that a wee bit better?
Yeah, it's just inspired by stuff that I see on social media that I just find really cringy. And I did actually make that video round about when Sinead O'Connor did sadly die. But I held off on sharing it for a while because it was genuinely really sad. And I didn't want to shame people for, like you say, if you're, there are definitely a couple of celebrities who, when they go, I will probably feel like I need a day off work. So I didn't want to shame people. So I waited a wee while, but there were just certain posts that were just incredibly narcissistic and just a bit cringy. And it's just fun to make fun of them, isn't it?
Yeah, I agree completely. And it's, I can remember like Uncle Phil for the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. I think Milk the Cow podcast, they did a kind of sort of parody of that as well. They were like, sleep well, my fair prince, or whatever, because it was like there was just like, people were talking about, I can't believe Uncle Phil's gone. And it was like, really? But no offence to Uncle Phil, of course. But yeah, then all the big celebrities died, and I was a bit harsh as well with some of the when I made Celebrity Morning. But it was kind of aimed at, because we've got no more super celebrities, what's going to happen in the future. So that's what I was kind of having a go at. But yeah, if someone means a lot to you, you can share it. But there is this borderline narcissism, which people are like, wait a minute, is everyone talking about a thing? I want a piece of that pie.
Yeah, trying to get they're trying to get a dopamine hit off the back of someone's death.
Yeah.
Which again is a funny concept to me, like people chasing these, dopamine hits, but like for really like, it's like kind of evil reasons, or like just a bit, yeah, it's weird, isn't it?
Hi everyone, we are live.
One is, did I play this one already? No.
No.
This is me backstage at a festival. You might have noticed I've had to take down my festival transporter videos for now, but they will be back online soon. But yeah, what I've been doing is I've been going to festivals and giving that backstage access and trying to make good stuff. But unfortunately, it's harder than it looks. But I think I'm getting the editing down a wee bit better. The trick is getting 45 minutes of stuff and then trying to get it down to 10 minutes, which I never do. It's usually about 15 minutes. But yeah, this is what I feel like sometimes. So you've done a great job here.
Hi everyone, we are live backstage here at Top Tunes Fest 2023, sponsored by Bottled Water. With me on the couch, I have a very special guest. It's Danny Jupiter. Right. How are you doing, Danny?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks. Yeah, I'm excited to be here. It's a great festival.
And what is your favourite pizza?
Such a crazy question. Probably pepperoni. Yeah.
Great choice, Danny. You can catch Danny Jupiter later on the Chat GPT stage. But for now, back to the studio.
Back to the studio indeed. So Danny Jupiter, the Chat GPT stage, I love it. It's great.
Yeah.
Is AI going to steal our jobs? Like this is
Took our jobs, who did? The robots. We're enslaved to technology that makes us worse off. Robots are robust, workers that don't take much days off. Big shots, hit the jackpot and the purchase mugged us off. They took our jobs, who did? The robots. Exhausted lies about utopia that can't be on top. Promised dishwashers before they stole our critical thought. Computers get better job offers, the pros are left to rot.
Will AI steal our jobs?
Maybe some jobs. I feel like if you've got a job where you've got to read a lot of documents, like what would that be? A solicitor or someone who looks at contracts. Or maybe they're not going to steal our jobs. They'll just kind of make them, maybe we'll just have to do less work. Or maybe everyone can pretend that they're still doing it, but use AI, and then we could just not tell anyone. If we could just all agree to just pretend, then we can just be chilling, like playing Barbies and
that would be in football manager games. Yeah, that'd be the dream. I mean, I remember. I don't know if you're old enough to remember Tomorrow's World, but that was the future that was promised. And now it just turns out that we're doing all the shite jobs and AI's doing all the fun art stuff. So it's just kind of like not the way I wanted. But maybe we can use AI to make things better. I asked AI if they knew my friend asked AI if they knew my band, and some of it was accurate and some of the stuff it just made up. So interesting times. I want to finish with your song, the things your mum said. I think it's a good way to end the show. But what I just wanted to one more time shout out. Oh, by the way, Tuesday I've got the parents of I don't know if anyone knows the Irish band Kneecap, but I'm a big fan of them. I couldn't get them in the show, but I got their parents on the show.
Amazing.
So let me just tell you. What the setup is for this one. So they've got they're both the artistic directors of. Sorry if I'm butchering the Irish Gaelic, but it's Aisling Gear Theatre Company, which is an Irish language theatre company whose home is in the Falls Road, Belfast. We're going to discuss art, money, censorship, and language rights. Basically they've got a crowdfunder on the go to try and save an important part of Belfast culture. So I'm looking forward to speaking to them on Tuesday night at 7:00. So a wee shout out to that. And if you didn't watch B Dolan, go and watch the B Dolan show last night. I know I've been away for ages, so I think a few of you missed it. B Dolan was in top form. He's got a new single out. He's got a UK tour, and it was good to chat to him. Tomorrow, me and Zara are going to be chatting with Darren McGarvey, who's going to be interviewing us. We may be doing some performances as well. I believe that Zara definitely is. I don't know if I am. But I'll be there. I'll be answering questions about art, about shadows, about narcissism, about ego, about internet trolls, about everything that I'm asked. I will answer every question. That's all I can do, is answer every question to the best of my ability. Zara, the floor is yours to, first of all, just promote anything you've got coming up, and then we'll end with actually a really nice song that you've got about things your mum would say.
Thanks. Well, thanks for having me on this, by the way. It's been very fun. I feel more prepared for tomorrow now. But in terms of things that I'm promoting, obviously tomorrow, you should all come. Beyond that, if you're interested in seeing me do comedy live, then you're best just following me on Instagram, Zany Zaz, or on TikTok, Zara Gladman, or on Threads, or Twitter. Basically, I'm on everything. I am chronically online. I can see why I was chosen to be a part of tomorrow's show with you, Mark. So that's all my plugs. That's it. I think.
Yeah, and I suppose I've been pretty chronically online over lockdown because I was like doing 3 shows a day at one point.
Yeah.
Which isn't very normal. But tickets for the Fringe show are in the comments. Also, I was going to say as well, for anybody who wants to go out after it. So we've got that show, and then we've got an after party and an after party as well. So message me, especially if you're a patron. I'll put the info on the Patreon for anyone who wants to join us for that as well. And yeah, this is the song. So can we just talk a little bit about this song before we go?
Yeah, I
So let me just make sure I've got it. Is this it?
Where you go? Well, I kind of sat down to write a comedy song about silly questions that your mum asks you, but then when I was writing it, I actually started getting quite emotional. And I think at the end, I realised I think I've just written a normal song that's a bit emotional rather than just pure. So this is a very rare kind of earnest moment for me. I don't usually just write straight songs.
Yeah.
So that's it, really. It's about my mum, but any mum.
Yeah, I feel that as well. I feel that as well. It starts off funny, and then you're like, oh, this is actually really sweet. So yeah, thank you, Zara. I'll see you tomorrow. Hopefully, everyone watching, you get yourself to the Newtown Theatre, 7:30 tomorrow, with myself, Zara, and Dan McGarvey. And if you can't make the show tomorrow, I'll see you back here on Tuesday night to speak to Kneecap's parents. This is
Where are you going? What are you wearing? Who's gonna be there? What time will you be home? Do you want turkey drummers? Waffles with ketchup? I blended the soup so you can't tell it's made of veg. Where did you meet him? What is his name? When is his birthday? Can I buy him something small? I'm just curious, that's all. You left your shoes out in the hall. Will you put them away? I tell you every day. How is your job going? Did you speak to your boss? I'm worried about you. You've been working round the clock. Do you have TikTok? Do you know how it works? Are you sure you've not blocked me? I can't see your latest post. Have banana on dry toast. If it hurts, then up the dose. Will you give me a ring? Do you need anything? Love, Mum.